It's now 9:30. We will call the Anoka County Board to order for March 24th, 2020. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would the clerk call the roll, please?
Here.
Here.
West,
Here.
Schulte,
Here.
Meissner,
Here.
Gamache,
Here.
Reinert.
Here.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Next, we are going to turn to our County Attorney, Tony Palumbo, who has a statement for us.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this meeting, and for members of the public, this meeting is being conducted pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.021, which is a meeting by telephonic means. The chair of the board and the county attorney have determined that an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent because of the current health pandemic. And all members of the body can hear each other and hear the discussion, I'm assuming. If someone cannot, please so state at this time. Members of the public present at a meeting location can hear all the discussion unless attendance is not feasible due to the pandemic. We have made a determination at this point that the members of the public are not allowed at the meeting. They can obviously view this through live stream, but because of the pandemic, we have asked, of course, through social distancing for people to stay away. So the chair and the county attorney may have made that decision that it is not feasible at this time to have the public at the meeting. All votes in this meeting will be by roll call. There are no just voice votes. For members of the public, by virtue of the fact that all members of the board are online through telephonic means, they are deemed to be present at this meeting. So we do have a quorum for purposes of conducting county business. Let's see. The public, again, is allowed to monitor this meeting through streaming and our normal means. So, and I assume that notice has gone out to the public of this meeting and of their right to monitor this through public streaming. And I think that covers the legal basis for conducting our meeting in the manner in which we are doing today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Palumbo. With that, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of our meeting, and we'll start out with tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
Brasted moved.
West second.
A motion by Brasted, second by West. And we will do a roll call for discussion. Look. Brasted.
No.
Brasted.
Aye.
This is just for discussion, so if you have any discussion on this, either yes or no.
No.
West.
No.
Meissner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
All right, seeing no discussion, there will be a roll call vote.
Brastad,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meissner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Thank you. And tax claims and abatements have been approved. Next, we'll move on to considering adopting the regular claims paid over $500 for the period ending March 13th of 2020 and the purchase card claims paid for the same period. Is there a motion to approve?
Meissner.
Approved, Look.
So moved.
I have a motion by Meissner. Is there a second?
Second, Look.
Second by Look. And we will again go through a roll call for discussion purposes. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meissner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no discussion, we'll move to a roll call vote.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes. Next, we are going to look for approval of the minutes of the March 10th, 2020 County Board meeting and the March 17th, 2020 Emergency County Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve both sets of minutes?
Reinert moves. Gamache, yes.
I have a motion by Reinert and a second by Gamache. We are not going to do a roll call for discussion on this. I'm just going to ask if anybody has any additions, corrections, or deletions. Hearing none, we are going to do a roll call vote. But I will remind you and ask you to please mute your phones between votes. At this point, we will have a roll call for approval of both sets of minutes.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brassad,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Thank you. Our minutes are adopted for both meetings. Next, we're going to move into Chair's remarks. We have two items today. First item under Chair's remark will be to address the elephant in the room. We have Terry Stoltzman here as our Emergency Management Director, and he's going to come up and talk a little bit about where we're at in this process and let us know just how well prepared we are. So, Terry.
Good morning, Commissioner, Chair, and Commissioners. Terry Stoltzman, Anoka County Emergency Management Director, and for the public viewing or listening in, we are in a great time of uncertainty, but there are things that we are certain of. We are certain that we have planned for these events. We are in uncharted waters, but we have planned around this. We have continuity of our operations. Some of it may be through e-services, but we also have continuity of government, as you can see illustrated by this county board meeting, which has been augmented under Minnesota law to let the public know what is going on. We are in close partnership with all of our public safety and public health and other partners that are in this together. We're working with the government above us, so the state of Minnesota and the federal government, to understand what we can get for resources, making sure that we're all safe, not just the public safety partnership and other workers, but the citizens of the county of Anoka. In looking at that, we are in for probably a marathon. We don't know, we're taking each day as it comes, but we need to think about our individual self-preparedness, our family preparedness, those around us. We've seen what's happened in our grocery stores, so just remember your neighbor. If they need a commodity that you have plenty of, share. And just remember to have those thoughts when you're out in public. Everyone's the same as you are, and no one's any different, and we just need to work together to get through. Think of those people that you don't need to visit. My parents are one of those, your parents and others, that we just have to social distance at this point. We see the news where we see people not social distancing, and they are basically, in my words, resetting the clock for us all. They need to think about their actions and heed the warning of our public health leadership at both the national level, state level, and local level. We need to take precautions. We still need to work. There are essential services that we all need to provide. We still need workers in our grocery stores, our gas stations, police officers and deputies on the street, those EMTs, those hospital workers, public health, and so forth. And we're working with all those closely too to make sure that they have what they need. As you can see, the governor is not ready to, they're planning for a potential for what they call a shelter in place, as you have seen other states move to. And that's based on the number of cases of illness and the spread of this virus. And so they're taking it as a very, it's a very measured approach, but it's something that they're considering, and then when they're ready to do that. But what we can do to help stem that is already do that intentionally ourselves. It starts with an individual. So if you don't need to go someplace, don't. Stay at home, figure out creative things to do with your kids or your family at home. Try not to be out in public unless you need to, but still understand we need to function on, carry on our lives as we would, but in an augmented reality, and curtail those activities that don't require us to be out in contact with others. We are the ones that will stop the spread of the illness. It's not going to be the government that will do it. We as individuals need to take the steps now to help spread that. But it's a partnership at all the different levels. It's not just, a city in Anoka County. It's not just Anoka County. It's the state of Minnesota, and it's really all the states around us and the nation that need to come together. The federal government has taken extraordinary efforts to close borders and looking at just essential travel. Eventually, that may turn into all closed. We are not there yet. When we look at the continuum of where we're at, we're here today, Tuesday, and we're gonna get to the next day, but we just need to be thoughtful. One of those highlights for those that are quarantining at home, if you become ill and you do need to call for 911 services, 911 is operational. But we need you to tell that 911 dispatcher that you have an influenza-like illness so that those incoming responders can stay safe and take the precautions necessary to protect themselves and others around them once they're done with your medical call. And just communicating that will be really essential at this point. I'll stop with those remarks and open it up to the chair and any commissioners if you have any discussion items. But we're all in this together, just ensuring that we have continuity of our operations. Some of it might be e-services. We will see that the county is currently closed. But when we're not closed for business, the buildings, so most buildings are closed, but there is availability for services. And we do have continuity government under law.
Well, thank you, Terry, and I am just going to respond quickly to say that, to let the public know that you do this year-round. We do emergency management planning all year round, every year, and we are well prepared for almost every emergency. Now, we didn't see this coming, no one did, and we are in, as stated many times, uncharted territory, but we're well prepared to get through that uncharted territory unscathed as long as we mind all the information and all the advice given to us by health professionals and emergency management directors. I thank you for your service. Stay healthy, stay safe. I know you're working a lot of extra hours right now, and we appreciate that. But to do that, you have to stay safe as well. So we hope you can. And before you walk from the podium, I'm going to do a quick roll call for discussion in case a commissioner has a question directly for you. And we will start with Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
Sorry about that. Actually, I do have, can anyone speak about the testing? Because that is one kind of question that I've consistently gotten about when to test and if testing kits available and that sort of thing.
Thank you. I'll have Terry address that question now.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Meinzer, and other commissioners, and for the public listening in, there is a MDH hotline if you have questions, and we will have that available on our website. It is currently available on the Anoka County website, and so you can certainly give that hotline a call. Testing changes daily. It depends on the availability of tests available because some of the stocks might be limited supply. They are still testing, but for very specific groups. And it changes, so I won't, I know there was healthcare workers and certain types of groups that were being tested, but they're not prioritizing anyone. It's just looking at those tests available and really defining if you have had close contact with the patient. There's set parameters, but the MDH hotline would be best to call if people have questions around testing, and that is available on the county website. Additionally, if you go to the Minnesota Department of Health website, they will have it listed under the COVID-19 page. There's a map of the state of Minnesota where all the cases are, and to the right of that is a hotline for any health questions. Additionally, if you're a business or a licensed provider, those numbers are available, or education, so you can certainly give them a call and they can give you the snapshot of today because it does change.
Thank you, Terry. Gamache.
Yes, statement, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a statement that I heard a day or two ago from the Surgeon General, Dr. Adams, regarding how people should be staying at home and doing all those things. And one of I think the point that he made that was clear to me that I thought, wow, this really tells the story, he said, you should act like you have the virus, and then you get an idea of how you should react out in the public. And I thought that was well said by the doctor, because if we want to curb this thing, it's going to be people staying at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Next, Reinert.
Yeah, so thanks, Terry, for all your work. I just have a request, a quick one. I know that a lot of small businesses are suffering out there. I've been called by a few, and there are going to be some government programs available, a lot of them not approved yet. I would just request that, when they become available, that we have them available on our website for people to be able to get in touch with, what they need to do to apply and everything like that. It's, I'm sure you were going to do that anyway. Just want to mention it because I've been hearing from a few folks just wondering what to do.
Thank you, and we will do that. Next, I would like to turn to the Attorney Palumbo for his comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board and the public. Just to assure you, the pandemic has not shut down the justice system. We are continuing to operate. Jury trials have been postponed, however, till April 27th. So if you are a victim or a witness in a trial that has been set on during that time, that has been continued till April 27th. At least that's the date that we have been given now. But of course, crime unfortunately still goes on during the county. The sheriff's office, and I see the sheriff nodding at the staff to handle all the problems out there on the street adequately. Our office is responding accordingly. We are working certainly with Commander Paschal in the jail to make sure that we are not, overcrowding the jail to contribute to this particular problem. But the county attorney's office is up and running. You have child support issues, please do call in. Please check with us. Our office is closed to the general public. You cannot come into the office, but we certainly will respond to emails and to telephone calls. So if there are members of the public do have concerns about that, please contact us. But just rest assured, we are continuing to process cases, both criminal, juvenile, certainly in our family law and our civil matters. And our civil division is particularly busy right now giving legal advice to this board and researching and working certainly with our federal partners to get out the latest information and advise the county accordingly. So the county attorney's office is deemed essential, their employees are, and we are continuing to work in the face of all of this. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board.
Thank you, Attorney Palumbo. And I do have that telephone number from the Minnesota Department of Health. That hotline number is 651-201-3920. So give that number a call and you can find out more about the current state of testing and number of cases, that type of thing. Thank you, Terry, for your work, and again, stay healthy. Our second item under Chair's remarks today is a reminder for you when you are quarantined at home would be a great opportunity to respond to the Census 2020. We do know how important being counted is. We know that that's going to determine a lot how much money we're going to get as a county, city, in our territory. That's what's going to determine how much federal money we get handed back to us. It's also going to determine how many seats we hold at the in Congress. So it's important. It's important that we count each and every person. And I can't tell you how easy it is. When you get that envelope in the mail, you go on your computer, you punch in those few numbers, and next thing you know, you answer a few questions, and 3 minutes later, you're done with the entire census, and you've been counted. It's critically important, and you're at home. It gives you an opportunity to do that now. You could probably even show your teenagers or your kids how it's done, so they're ready to do it in a few years when this comes by again. So with that, that will conclude Chair's remarks, and we will move on to committee reports, and we will start with the Management Committee report. Commissioner West.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My regular item is all informational, but I have a management chair report. And the first item is the consent agenda.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Motion by West. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
Second by Meisner. And for discussion on the consent agenda, we will not do a roll call. If you have any point, any discussion point, bring it up now. Hearing none, we will go to a roll call vote.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reiner,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye. Next item.
Next item is 2A. It's structure and fill from administration regarding the library. It's going to restructure from a 0.5 FTE library service assistant, grade 7, and combine with a 0.5 FTE library 2, grade 12, and it will be 1 FTE library 2, grade 12, and that original grade 5 will be eliminated. This is done for the purpose of increasing the capacity for the librarian position to conduct outreach to the schools, early reader program, and to also increase the ability for the librarian position to conduct a needs assessment of current needs and services for early readers and assist in the capacity of Northtown Library to assist local schools in helping students to be ready to read by 3rd grade.
Is there a motion
I
to
will move
approve?
it.
There's a
Reiner, move to approve.
motion by Reinert. Is there a second?
Second, Gamache.
Second by Gamache. Further discussion? We will go through a quick roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
Aye.
You have a discussion.
Sorry. No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
All right, hearing no discussion, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes. Your next item, 2B.
Next item is to restructure in Economic Assistance Department. To go from 1 FTE child support expedited process specialist, grade 11, to economic assistance program coordinator, grade 12. And this is because they have, excuse me, they want to restructure to a position to create a second economic assistance program coordinator to handle the high volume of training that's needed for newly hired child support staff.
Is there a motion to approve?
Moved by Brasted.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
Motion by Breasted, second by Meisner. We'll do a quick roll call for discussion. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
And that passes with a unanimous vote.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner West. We will next move to the Transportation Committee report. We did hold our meeting on March 16th in the Lacaparo Room at the County Highway Division. We did employ our first meeting with social distancing, so there was a limited attendance and a very large room with people spaced out great distances. It was a new experience, but we came away with some action items for you. First, the committee recommends approval of a resolution, which is the conveyance of a limited access, right-in, right-out access from Outlot A on Parkside North 9th Edition from the property located at Lexington Avenue and 125th Avenue in the city of Blaine. This is the former Shell station That is now gone. The property's been raised, and this is negotiated amongst all the property owners in the area. So we're looking for an offer of the resolution.
Reinert, move to approve.
I'll offer the resolution.
The resolution has been offered by Reinert. We will have, again, a roll call for discussion, and we'll start with Look,
No.
Breasted,
No.
West,
No.
Meisner,
No.
Gamache,
No.
Reinert.
I guess I do have just one question. Happen to know the landowner, Lenny, that has this property. He does have plans for redevelopment, and I'm just wondering, I know that all property owners are said in the report to have agreed. I've had time to talk with Lenny in between the presentation of this action and today, but just wanted confirmation that he was 100% on board with closing down that access.
Commissioner Reinert, we do not have staff here today to address the question. I am told that it was an agreement that was reached. I can't say if it's a 100% agreement or 75% or completely happy or unhappy. We're not sure. I believe a quick phone call to Joe McPherson, our highway engineer, might clear up that question for you.
All right. All right, well, I'll support the motion and the action today then, pending further information.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, we are going to move to a roll call vote on the resolution.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad,
Aye.
West. West,
Sorry, my screen went away. Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Next, the committee recommends approval to enter into a joint powers agreement with the City of Coon Rapids for the Strategic Congestion Mitigation Project from Hanson Boulevard to Round Lake Boulevard in the City of Coon Rapids. And I will move its approval. Is there a second?
Meisner,
Second by Meisner. And we'll go through a quick roll call on discussion. Just as a quick reminder, this is the joint powers agreement for the first phase of the study, engineering and environmental assessment, to make sure we can add that third lane and actually not make sure we can do it, but to make sure we're pricing it properly and that we're picking the right project for that area. And Coon Rapids has agreed to pay half of that cost, and that's what this joint powers agreement codifies. Discussion. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
All right, seeing no discussion, we are going to move to a roll call vote.
Brastad,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
And that again passes unanimously. The third and final item on the transportation agenda, the committee recommends approval to enter into a professional services agreement as a sub-client with the City of Anoka for professional services for the proposed interchange improvement project on Highway 10 at the intersection of West Main Street, Fair Oak Avenue, and Thurston Avenue in the City of Anoka. Is there a motion to approve?
This is Commissioner Look. I'll move it.
Motion by Look. Is there a second?
Commissioner Gamache, second.
Second by Gamache. And we will do a roll call on further discussion. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Next, we will move, that concludes the Transportation Committee report, and we will move on to Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. Commissioner Look.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Finance and Capital Improvement Committee met on March 17th and came away with a couple of action items, or three. The first one, and also I will say that we also participated in the social distancing guidelines, and it was an interesting experience. Item number one is the committee recommends the county board approve contract C007801 with Bituminous Roadways out of Mendota Heights for the completion of the 2020 pavement project for a total of $160,150. And this is going to be a project for the Rum River Campus Cronin parking lot, for Stepping Stone Homeless Shelter, the Northtown Library North parking lot, and there's an alternate in there for the Rum River Campus Service Road between Administration and Cronin.
Is there a motion to approve? I will move it. Is there a second?
Brasted, second.
I have a second by Brasted. Is there any discussion? We will move through a quick roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
That passes with a unanimous vote. Next.
Mr. Chair, the second item is the committee recommends the county board approve contract C007808 with Schumacher Elevator Company for annual elevator maintenance and repairs for an amount of $74,304. You'll see we had a few bids there, and the Schumacher continues to be the most aggressive bid in the industry right now, and they've done tremendous work for us in the past, so we recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Look.
I have a motion by Look. Is there a second?
West, second.
Second by West. Further discussion in a roll call fashion? Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye. And that passes. Item 3.
Mr. Chair, the third item is the committee recommends the county board adopt resolution 2020-F6 authorizing the sale of real property located in and owned by Anoka County. And on January 28th, we adopted a resolution to go out for bids. There were no bids received. At this point, then we're allowed to work with a real estate broker to look at what might be available out there for people interested in purchasing these properties. The two parcels, one was purchased, they were purchased back in 2007 for an amount of $3.245 million. Parcel 1 is currently appraised at 1.33, parcel 2 at 940, and if you add the two together, the values are very depressed at this point. So hopefully, prior to the virus scenario, I think the economy is doing well. But at this point, we'll be able to learn more about who might be interested in purchasing these properties and if it's going to be something the county wants to sell at this point.
Thank you. Is there an offer of the resolution?
I will offer it. Look.
The resolution's been offered by Look, and we will do roll call for further discussion. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will have a roll call vote.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes.
Mr. Chair, the rest is for informational purposes. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Lux. Next, we're going to move on to the Human Services Committee report. Commissioner Brastad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met on March 17th and also practiced the social distancing guidelines. Our first item is that we recommend the county board enter into grant contract C0007840 with the state of Minnesota for the 2020 Municipal Residential Recycling Program, which is also known as SCORE, and LRDG. Funding to the municipalities in the amount of $513,374. This is money that we pass on to all 21 municipalities in the county so they can handle their own recycling programs. And I'm happy to move it.
There is a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brastad. Is there a second?
Second, Look.
I have a second by Look. Further discussion by roll call. Look.
No.
Brastad.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Reinert.
Yes.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Thank you, and that passes unanimously. Next item.
Consider recommending the county board enter into contract renewal with Acumen Psychological Services for psychological evaluations and forensic consultation with a $30 increase per product from April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021. And I'm happy to move that.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brastad. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Further discussion and a roll call vote, or excuse me, a roll call discussion. Look.
No.
Brastad.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing none, we will go to the roll call vote.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes. Item 3.
Consider recommending the county board enter into contract with Stanley Security for camera and control replacement upgrades at Anoka County Secure and the East Central Regional Juvenile Center on the Juvenile Center campus. This is a requirement due to the PREA Act, the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and this is something we have been working on and think that this is the right product and contract for our facilities, and I'm happy to move that.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brastad. Is there a second?
Reinert, second.
Second by Reinert. Further discussion will be via roll call. Look.
No.
Brastad.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert. Reinert. Commissioner Reinert, do you have any discussion points?
No, I'm sorry, I had my mute on. And no.
Okay, no problem. We are then going, seeing there is no discussion, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
And that passes unanimous. Item 4.
Recommend the county board adopt resolution 2020 HS-4, which is the current economic assistant bills, and I'd be happy to offer that resolution.
There's a resolution before us. I will assume there is no discussion. If there is, speak now. Seeing as there's no discussion, we will move to a roll call vote on the resolution.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 4B.
Timing on this one could not be more perfect, I believe. Resolution 2020 HS-5, which proclaims April as Public Health Month in Anoka County, and I'll offer the resolution.
That resolution has been offered, and we will go, I will ask, is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we are going to move to a roll call vote.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
And that motion passes. We'll move on to the next resolution, 4C.
Recommend adopting Resolution 2020 HS-6, which proclaims April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Anoka County, and I'll offer the resolution.
The resolution has been offered. Is there any discussion?
Meisner?
Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just commentary about the resolution that in 2019, Anoka County and Children and Family Services has served 400 families with intervention, and this also was because of multiple community partners. So just acknowledgement around that and appreciation for all those who make this happen.
Thank you, Commissioner Meisner. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we're going to move to a roll call vote on the resolution.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye. And that item passes.
And that concludes my report.
Well, then we will move on to your Intergovernmental and Community Relations Report, Commissioner Brasted. Chair report.
Thank you. I would recommend the county board approve an agreement with Dr. Wallace. It's contract C0007770 for forensic oncology services. And I'm happy to move that.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
And there's a second by Meisner. Further discussion? I'll start out just by clarifying that it is forensic odontology, just for people listening so they understand that term a little better. And we'll move to Look. Discussion.
No discussion.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no discussion, we are going to move to the roll call vote.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
That item passes. Item 2.
I would recommend the county board approve contract C0007774 with the University of Minnesota for educational internships at the medical examiner's office. There are no fees associated with this contract, but just one more way that we can be a good partner, and I'm happy to move that.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
West, second.
Second by Commissioner West. Further discussion in a roll call fashion. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Aye.
Schulte. Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
And that passes. Next item.
I would recommend the county board approve contract C0007800 with the Minnesota Department of Health as part of a study to gather and report information on suspected opioid deaths. The estimated annual revenue is $25,000 to $35,000 with a term through August of 2022. As we know, opioid deaths are still an issue, and this is one study that can gather and report information on the subject. So I will move that.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
Reinert, second.
Look, second.
I have a second by Reinert. Further discussion. Roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
And that item passes. Next item.
I would recommend the county board approve contract C0007729 with the Minnesota Lions Eye Bank for a 2-year agreement and annual renewals up to 7 years. Minnesota Lions Eye Bank will pay approximately $7,000 to $8,000 per year for the use of our facility, and I'll move that.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Further discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will have a roll call vote.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
And that passes. Item 5.
I would recommend the county board approve contract C0007781 with Life Source and contract C0007782 with American Donor Services for donor harvesting for a 2-year agreement and annual renewals up to 7 years. The agencies pay a fee to use our facility with an estimated annual revenue of $30,000.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move, look.
I have a motion by Commissioner Look. Is there a second?
West, second.
Second by Commissioner West. Further discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted.
Aye.
And that also passes unanimously. Item 6.
I would recommend the county board consider a letter to the St. Paul Port Authority regarding the PACE loan program for Westgate Apartments, subject to the financing and closing of the project.
Is there a motion to approve?
Brasted will move
to
it.
approve.
I have a motion by Brasted. Seconder, repeat that.
Reiner?
A second from Reinert. Further discussion via roll call? Look.
No.
Brasted.
I just want to clarify on this that we won't agree to the assessment until the land is in the control of the buyer that plans to buy the land.
Thank you for that clarification. West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move ahead to a roll call vote.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
That item passes.
And that concludes my IG report.
Thank you, Commissioner Brasted. We will now move to the Parks Committee report, and we'll turn to Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Parks Committee met on Tuesday, March 10th at the Government Center. We have 6 items for your consideration today. We're recommending to the board the approval of the purchase of service agreement with the Conservation Corps Minnesota to assist with natural resources, restoration, and park maintenance related to projects in the Anoka County Park System. It's contract number C0007769. We discussed this a little bit the previous board meeting when we talked about the possibility that they may not be able to provide enough people in a 5-person crew, which they usually do, just because of the way the economy was. Of course, we're not sure how that's going to look later on now based on what's been happening. But this is just the approval of the regular contract, and I will move it.
There is a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gamache. Is there a second?
West.
Second.
I have a number of seconds. Let's go with West. I heard that voice first. And we'll do discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
Mr. Chair, just wanted to add one thing just to let everybody know that this is 100% of the funding comes from the Metropolitan Regional Parks Legacy Fund grant agreement.
Thank you, Commissioner
That's
Gamache.
all.
Reinert.
No.
All right. We've finished with discussion. Seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Aye.
Schulte.
That passes. Item 2.
Item 2, Mr. Chair, is to recommend to the County Board to award 3 contracts totaling $5,448,600 for the construction phase of the Bunker Beach replacement project. We did receive many bids. The lowest responsible bidder for Category 1 is building construction was Ebert Inc. from Corcoran, Minnesota, with a total base bid of $2,123,000. The responsible bidder for Category 2, which is Wave Pool Construction, was Global Specialty Contractors from Eagan, Minnesota, with with a total base bid of $2,967,700. And the lowest responsible bidder for category 3, which is septic installation, was Septic Check from Malacca, Minnesota, with a base bid of $188,700. The total base bid amount is $5,279,400, and I will move this.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gamache. Is there a second?
Reinert, second.
Second by Reinert. Further discussion by roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I wanted to add one more thing. If you look down under background and analysis, the Parks Department also recommends the following identified project alternate bids. And there are a couple of those that total $169,200. So if we get down to the final, and those are little things. There's concession building ventilation, lazy river chemical tanks, lazy river pool plaster finish and tile replacement, and then replacement of the Venture pool and Twisted Towers pool heating. That adds, moves the number. I apologize for this. I should have put this in here right away. I didn't scroll down. $5,448,600. So the total funding for this project is $6,533,824, which is provided through the Metropolitan Council Trails and Legacy Grant and the Anoka County Capital Investment Budget. Our construction is scheduled to start September 8th, 2020, and we hope for no delays. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Commissioner Reinert.
No.
Next, I'll turn to Attorney Palumbo.
Mr. Chair, thank you for clarifying that. Commissioner Gamache, the totals you spoke of were somewhat different than the totals listed in the agenda, but I think you cleared those up, so thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
All right, with those clarifications, seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes. Now we can just hope that that this virus scare moves on and that we will have a full house at Bunker Beach this summer because we will need some revenues to offset some of these expenses. But we won't do it if we can't. With that, next item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 3 is recommended to the County Board to award a contract for the Bunker Beach parking lot reconstruction project to Northwest Asphalt of Shakopee, Minnesota, in the amount of $389,037.99. This came to us. We did have the bids went out. They were opened on February 19th. We had 7 bids that were received, with the lowest, the most responsible bidder being Northwest Asphalt, at $389,037.89 with no alternate. And I'll move this.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gamache. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
I have a second by Commissioner Meisner. Further discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
Mr. Chair, just a quick update again on this one. We had looked at this earlier, and we did not get any good bids, and so we re-looked at the project and changed it a bit and came back with the better bid, so that we're happy that we're moving forward and not and under the estimate of $500,000. Again, this is funded through the Metropolitan Council's Parks and Trails Legacy Grant.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Commissioner Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
And that item passes. Item 4.
Item 4, Mr. Chair, is to award a contract for the Rice Creek Maintenance Facility Sanitary Sewer Construction Project to Septic Check from Malacca, Minnesota, for a total contract amount of $138,154.03. The bid went out. We had 4 quotes were received on the bid. Park staff is requesting the county award it to Septic Check. And they were while they were not the lowest responsible quoter, Park staff believe they provide the best quality and service and value for the county, as we have worked with them before in the past. So if there's any questions, please let me know, but as staff indicated, this was the most responsible quoter, and that's why we're moving forward with it.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll
Move
move
to approve.
Gamache.
I heard Reinert move that, so we have a motion on the floor from Reinert. Is there a second?
Gamache, second.
Second by Gamache. Further discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
And that item passes. Next, we'll move to item 5.
Did you want a roll call?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a roll call vote. Thank you.
Look.
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
And that item passes. Now we'll move to item 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The county board wants to adopt a resolution number 2020-PRK05, accepting a donation of an owl and $200 from the Warner Nature Center. The Warner Nature Center closed at the end of 2019. Their captive animals were given to qualified and interested nature centers around the state, and Wargo was fortunate enough to receive the barred owl. That's not barn, it's B-A-R-R-E-D, owl. And if you didn't get the chance, just this week online, they were doing a video from Wargo Nature Center showcasing the owl and talking about it. And we were receiving many great compliments from young people and parents and everything about the owl, with questions all about some of the different things that owls are all about. So it was very interesting, and staff is going to be continuing to do those types of programs moving forward as we go through this quarantine period here in our state. Along with there's a $200 donation that goes towards the care of the owl, as well as other captive animals at Wargo Nature Center, which we now have 2 snakes, a turtle, frog, and toad. And from what I understand is the frog and the toad will be separated from the owl, because I think that's a food source, so we don't want anything happening to them. I'll move this.
All right, there's been an offer of the resolution. We will do discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Brastad.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
Gamache.
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
And that item passes. Item 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 6, recommend to the county board to authorize a grant agreement for $185,000 from the Conservation Partners Legacy Grant Program, Anoka County contract number C0007730 for cedar revetment erosion control along the Rum River. This grant program is available to help us it's available to help restore forests and wetlands and prairies and things like rivers. And the CPL program has been recommended by the LSOHC to and approved by the Minnesota legislature annually since 2009. So this is a good program that allows us to help do some work on the riverbank, on the Rum River, We have worked with them before. We've worked on this type of a revetment erosion control program before on the run, and it has worked really well, so we're excited to continue that. And I'll move this.
There is a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gamache. Is there a second?
Look, second.
A second by Look. Further discussion via roll call. Look.
Mr. Chair, the LSOHC is Lessard Sams, which we received additional funding on the Rum River as well for the same type of work. So hopefully we're successful in this grant. Thank you.
Preston.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
And I will comment just that the river separates Commissioner Look's district and my district, and I want to thank Commissioner Look for his extra efforts he puts into making sure that that river is well looked after, and to make sure that to thank him for his continued work with Lessard Sams and Ron Shera and others who make sure that we get in line for the right grants to make sure that that river stays in good shape. So with that, that does conclude discussion, and we'll move to a roll call vote.
West,
I'm sorry, was that Look?
Aye.
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
And that passes.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just to remind people of the fact that the Parks Department is doing programming online, and I believe it's going to be running every day. But even if you don't have a chance to check it out every day, there will be some different online videos showing some of the things that are going on in our parks, including the maple syrup event that we were going to have. Now they're just showing some of the information about how to do maple syrup and that type of thing. But the OWL one was just one that was just recently done, and they're going to continue as our staff is working hard and diligently to get learning opportunities out for the kids that are home, and to help the parents. And it's good for everybody to see what's happening at our parks. And again, Mr. Chair, thank you for your comments. Yes, Commissioner Look has been doing one of the great jobs for us with the Lessard Sams, and I really appreciate his help in all of these things, because he's really got the ear of some very important people that can supply us with money to help us with this important river that runs through our county. So thank you, Commissioner Look, as well. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. We will now move to the Property Records and Taxation Committee report. Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we met on March 24th, and I only have one action item today, and this is to adopt Resolution 2020 PRT1, authorizing the reconveyance of tax forfeit property back to the state of Minnesota. The PIN number is 08-32-25-32-0029, and this is in the city of Ramsey. And this is, let's see, the background on this essentially is there's a 30-year window of when property needs to be used for the intended purpose, and this was not used, so therefore now we are bringing it back to the state of Minnesota.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
Yes, sorry,
I will offer it,
have to
Look.
offer the resolution.
The resolution's been offered by Commissioner Look. Just one quick correction. Your committee did meet on the 16th, as today is the 24th. So just a quick correction there for anybody listening.
Thank you.
Absolutely. With that, we have a resolution on the floor. We will do a discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
Nope.
Reinert. Commissioner Reinert, any discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute again. No.
No problem at all. So we have no further discussion. We will move to a vote.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
And that item passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The rest of my items are for informational only, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Meisner. We will now move to the Public Safety Committee's Chair report, and we will turn to Commissioner Brasted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would recommend that we adopt Resolution 2020 PS03, the County Board authorization of signatory for the 2019 State of Minnesota Federal Boating Safety Supplemental Equipment Grant Agreement and approval and execution of contract C0007826 with a maximum reimbursement of $9,833 and a term of March 2nd, 2020 through August 14th, 2020. And I'll move that.
There is an offer of the resolution. Further discussion via roll call. Look,
No.
Brasted,
No.
West,
No.
Meisner,
No.
Gamache,
No.
Reinert.
No.
Hearing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
Look,
Aye.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert.
Aye.
And that item passes. Next on to item 2.
Very similar resolution. Recommend adoption of Resolution 2020 PS04, the County Board authorization of signatory for 2020 State of Minnesota Federal Boating Safety Patrol Supplemental Grant Agreement and approval and execution of agreement C0007827 with a maximum reimbursement of $12,000 in a term of May 9th, 2020 through September 7th, 2020. And I'll offer that resolution.
The resolution has been offered. Instead of doing a roll call, I'm going to ask, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will move to a roll call vote.
Brasted,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look.
Aye.
And that item passes. Item 3.
I would recommend approval and execution of contract C0007831, which is purchase of service agreement with Quality Radiologic Consultants with a maximum payment of $5,000 to comply with Minnesota Department of Health regulations regarding the installation of a full body scanner within the jail. This is something that we have discussed for quite a while, and I am happy to move that.
The item has been moved by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
West, second.
Second by Commissioner West. Before we have discussion, the sheriff is here, and I think he may have a word or two for us on this item, so we'll turn to him before we have discussion. Sheriff Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. I just wanted to be able to highlight this real quick. This has been a discussion point to try to get body scanners in the jail for about 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer even. And over the last 2 to 3 years, I'm proud to say Anoka County and specifically Commander Paschal were the tip of the spear in working with our statewide partners to try and implement this for the safety and the security of not just staff but of inmates. We see across the state certainly narcotics, but even phones and weapons being introduced into our jails. And so we're trying to mitigate those areas as best we can while managing liability and creating a much safer environment. And so I just wanted to take a moment to publicly thank Commander Paschal for the numerous times and even repeat years of trying to get this through our legislature and the multiple committees and the multiple trips down there. And he really literally was representing Anoka County as the tip of the spear and making this happen. happen to make all of the jails across Minnesota have the opportunity to be a safer place. And that's really all I had to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Stewart. We will do discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Hearing no further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad.
Aye.
And that item passes. Next, we're going to move to item 4.
I would recommend authorization for the Sheriff's Office and Community Corrections Department to jointly issue a request for proposal to provide nursing services for the county correctional facilities. Currently, our situation is that the Anoka County Public Health Department has been providing nursing services in the jail and the correctional facilities. We have found that there's really limited availability of this type of staff. And so we are looking to go out and actually contract for these type of healthcare services in our correctional facilities. There has been a working group that has discussed this. All partners and parties are on the same page. And so I am happy to move this item.
There's a motion by Commissioner Brasted on the floor. Is there a second?
Meisner, second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Further discussion via roll call? Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
And I would just comment that this is of the utmost importance that we get a handle on what's going on here and think this is the next best step that we can do to make that happen. With that, we will move to a roll call vote.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
And we have a unanimous vote.
And Mr. Chair, that concludes my public safety report.
Thank you, Commissioner Brasted. That brings us back to our regular agenda and item 9A through C, which we will consider as one vote. And we'll consider approving the following relating to appropriations for the 2020 Memorial Day observances. Appropriating pursuant to Minnesota statute, section 375.35, $200 to each post of a recognized military service persons organization or society organized and existing in the county, holding charter from Congress or incorporated in the state for defraying the expenses of Memorial Day exercises, which submits a written request to the county administration by December 31st of 2020. That's item A. Item B is reimbursing pursuant to Minnesota statute 375.34, expenses up to $200 to any military service persons, organization, or society holding a charter from Congress or incorporated in this state, which exists outside the county but holds Memorial Day services in the county, not to exceed a total reimbursement of $1,000, and which submits a statement in writing by December 31st of 2020, detailing the expenses incurred in such services. And then finally, item C is appropriating pursuant to Minnesota statute section 375.34 up to $2,500 to the Anoka County Veterans Council to aid in observance of Memorial Day. So I will move item 9A, B, and C. Is there a second?
Second by Brasted.
Second.
A second by Commissioner Brasted. Discussion via roll call. Look.
No.
Brasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
And that concludes discussion. We'll move on to a roll call vote.
Meisner,
Aye.
Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye. And that item passes. Next, we'll move on to item 10, committee appointments. First, we'll consider appointing Brian Lindberg as a county attorney representative to the Community Corrections Advisory Board for a 2-year term ending February 2022. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved by Brasted.
I have a
Second, Gamache.
motion on the floor by Breasted, a second by Commissioner Gamache. All those in favor, I will do a roll call vote here as well.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Reinert,
Aye.
Look,
Aye.
Brastad,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes. And then you'll see lastly, 10B is a private sector appointment by me of Tanya Barber to the Anoka County Workforce Development Board for a term expiring June 30th of 2021. We know right now that workforce is a different issue than we had a month ago. Right now, it's going to be a much bigger issue in the future, but a different issue. Before we couldn't get workers, we couldn't find them to put them in places we needed them, and now I think we're going to be repurposing many people. And so workforce development becomes really important. So this is my appointment to that board. And with that, if there is nothing else to come before the board, I'm going to ask your name one last time. If you have something that you want to bring before the board, say it. Otherwise, say no. Look.
No.
Breasted.
No.
West.
No.
Meisner.
No.
Gamache.
No.
Reinert.
No.
Before we adjourn, I will remind each of you to please stay on the line. We'll conduct an HRA meeting in a matter of about 2 to 3 minutes as soon as we can conclude here and get set up. So with that, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. I think that went pretty well.
I agree.
Did somebody just drop off?
Not me.
Not me.
I'm
Sounded
still
like
here.
it.
Well, we're going to do a roll call vote here shortly, and we'll find out if somebody dropped off. Not sure. We haven't in the past.
Yeah, you guys are still on right now. Oops, now you're off.
It's not usually. I don't think. Right, HRA is not here. HRA